If a person spends 40 years in a career, there will be some high points and some low spots along the way. So it is for retiring Cincinnati Police Chief Tom Streicher, whose last day on the city payroll is today. Before he left office, the chief talked with 9 News reporter Tom McKee about his proudest and his toughest moments.
Well, Tanya, it's not a stretch to say that Chief Streicher has experienced thousands of events between 1971 and 2011. And when he sat down with me, though, he picked 5 that he said he can't and he won't forget. Thomas Streicher Jr., Elder High School class of 1971. 4 years later, here on the right, Officer Tom Streicher of the Cincinnati Police Department, the proudest moment of his career.
That's when they gave me a badge to wear as a Cincinnati police officer. It was my dad's badge number that he had in 1947, badge 625.
The toughest occasions, the chief cited 3. The first was the 1986 rape and murder of 7-year-old Trina Dukes, thrown from the 4th floor of a West Liberty Street apartment. Streicher was quickly on the scene as a supervisor.
She was moaning and naked, and realization was that she'd gone through a terrible experience, and there was nothing we could do. We knew she was going to die.
The second involved the man whose footsteps Streicher followed onto the force.
Responding to a radio run for a person with a heart attack that actually was my father. And he's dead.
The third took place at this Westwood car wash in February 1980. Streicher was part of an undercover drug investigation and shot and killed a suspect. Officers said the suspect ignored repeated orders to remove his hand from his pocket and then move the hand inside the pocket as though he had a gun and would fire on officers. It was determined to be self-defense. Streicher rarely talks about that day, but when he does, he calls it a tragedy.
The really hard part of that was that of the 5 officers that were there, the last one that got up to the scene, up to the dead body, walked up and said, "What's his name?" And we were standing over him. He had died, and I said, I don't know. He said, "Gary something," and the policeman said that the policeman actually was one of my partners that night, and the policeman said, "It's Gary Bevins. It's my nephew." And that was pretty devastating.
As Streicher left police headquarters last Friday, he said his proudest moment in 12 years as chief was when he knew changes begun by the 2003 collaborative agreement were working.
Just a feeling in the atmosphere, even of this city, that it's a much better place to be, and I like being part of that. I think that feels good. It makes all the efforts worthwhile.
And he added he'll always be a part of the Queen City's thin blue line.
I can say I'm associated with anyone who ever was a member of this agency, who currently is, and who will be into the future. I'm part of that legacy that is the Cincinnati Police Department. I'm very proud of my association with it.
Now, Streicher has not said what he is going to do with his time other than to relax for a while. And meanwhile, Tanya and Clyde, the search for his replacement continues.
All right, Tom, great interview.